Hey, welcome to Pat's Soundbites IGTV. Keeping new music alive is what I do on the radio and now on video. Conducting live chats with the artists and learning the stories behind their latest release and also playing their new video. A special thank you to my friend Chip Ruggieri for scheduling and coordinating today's guest. Chipster PR and Consulting Incorporated is a highly sought-after, internationally renowned publicity, marketing, and consulting firm in the music industry. For more information, you could email Chip at info@chipsterpr.com or you can call at 484-932-8951. Special thanks today to my sponsor, Go-Go Tuners. For all guitar players looking for a focus on ease of use, readability, durability, and accuracy, look no further. The Go-Go Tuner is the choice of many touring professionals and a favorite of casual players. Go-Go's signature green you're in and red you're out screen makes tuning quick and easy. For more information, go to the website at gogotuners.com. Special thanks to WBXO Classic Rock Radio Redefined, allowing me to keep new music alive on the radio airways on the Pat Show every Sunday from 5 to 8 Eastern Standard Time. Only on WBXO Classic Rock Redefined. And a big thank you to Mr. Evan Balzer for allowing me to use his amazing instrumental that you're hearing right now. It's called Trails. To find out more incredible music by Evan, go to his website at evanbalzer.com. And my special guest today is heavy metal's favorite granny. I'm talking about power vocalist Terry LeRoi of Granny 4-Barrel and also of LeRoi XIII. That's right, Terry has reached out to members of the metal community and has formed a new rockin' band called LeRoi XIII. And they had done a super job covering Ronnie James Dio Stand Up and Shout. And the reason behind it? Well, it's to support the Ronnie James Dio Stand Up and Shout Cancer Fund. And they kill it. They do a great job and they have a tremendous video. And it's an incredible band with an all-star lineup. We're going to talk to Terry about this concept. We're going to find out why this song and why it's so important to him, supporting the Ronnie James Dio Cancer Fund. We're going to play the video. We're also going to find out what's new and exciting with Granny 4-Barrel. All this and a whole lot more right here on Pat's Soundbites IGTV. Hey, live on Pat's Soundbites IGTV, rocking and rolling, keeping new music alive on the radio and on video here in New York. And for a first time in a long time, I got a fellow rocking metal guy from New York here. He's a singer, he's a songwriter, and he's our favorite granny metal rocker, Granny 4-Barrel, our man Terry LeRoi here in the house. How are you, Terry?
Hey, what's up, Pat? Yeah, happy to be here, man.
Terry up in Syracuse, Oswego. Boy, do I got friends up there. They better support this. Oh, I'm going to kick some ass, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you're from Poughkeepsie, so we're all, it's New York in the house today.
New York in the house, rocking a great project that Terry put together with a bunch of incredible, talented artists that we're going to talk about. Terry has put together LeRoi XIII, correct, Terry?
That's right.
LeRoi XIII with this talented group of wonderful artists from different bands and have done a cover of Ronnie James Dio, Stand Up and Shout. And the key here is I need everybody to go buy the track because 100, I didn't stutter, buy 100% of the proceeds go to Ronnie James Dio Cancer Foundation. And when any band, any artist does anything like that, I'm all in. So bless you. Congratulations. And the track you guys killed it. It was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I'll let you go over who's in the band. And I know Sammy's in it. And when he starts out and your vocals, and I'm like, crank it up. Ronnie is got to be smiling very happily up in the heavens with all the our other rocking angels up there. So I don't know, where do I start? I mean, obviously you, like all of us, Terry, have always been Ronnie James Dio fan. I mean, is he not the master of metal? We growing up, I used to have jet black hair. Growing up in the 70s and 80s, Heaven and Hell and Holy Diver and Last in Line. And I love that band, Last in Line. I'm good friends with Vinny Apathy and Vivian Campbell. Seen them guys a bunch of times, Andrew Friedman and Phil Susan. And I always say, man, thank you for doing what you do to keep Ronnie's music out there. But you guys said, you know what, we're going to do this cover and we're going to raise money. And you killed it. So I'm going to shut up because I tend to ramble and let you speak on how you decided to do this, why you picked the song. Obviously, you got permission from Wendy and who's in your band. So go ahead, Terry.
Yeah, so thanks for that great introduction, Pat. It was, it all started way back in November 2019. So just a little over a year ago, not November, a couple months ago, but 2019, we played a show at the Whiskey, and Granny Four Barrel did. My band, Four Barrel. We played a show at the Whiskey, and Wendy Dio was there at the show. Our camp, Chip and Bob Chipardi, they invited Wendy because a few days later was the Bull for Ronnie event. So all these musicians were in town, and so she came to the Whiskey show. And we were like, oh, Wendy's here. Let's play Stand Up and Shout. And every band I've ever been in, I'm always trying to pull out some Ronnie Dio, Sabbath, or, even Rainbow, even some Elf. I've been known to sing some Elf songs because I'm a huge Ronnie fan. But yeah, so she really loved the track. That was a great evening. Couple nights later, Granny Four Barrel had a bowling lane with all the crazy rock stars at the Bull for Ronnie event. And that was a great evening. We finished out the week with some rehearsals and another show. We came home, and then we were fortunate enough to get invited to play the Ride for Ronnie event in May of 2020. Wendy contacted us and invited us to play, but pandemic, so everything gets shut down. Nobody's doing anything. I'm still in Ronnie Dio mode. I was excited to go, do this thing. And I called David Bendeth. I'm like, dude, let's do a track. Like, I want to sing Stand Up and Shout. I always do that song, and we just did it for Wendy, and it's the namesake for the foundation. Let's just do a charity. Like, we're not doing it. Let's do something good. So David's like, yeah, who do we want to get? And I'm like, I don't know. Well, we were working with Aaron Pauley doing some co-writing for Granny Four Barrel.
Mice and Men, right? I think.
Yeah, Mice and Men. Yeah, Aaron Pauley of Mice and Men. So we said, all right, well, we'll ask Aaron if he wants to play bass. And then David reached out. He got Sammy Baller, and he said, well, I've been talking to you about Will Hunt forever.
Wow.
From Evanescence. And I said, well,
what a drummer. Holy crap.
Dude. Yeah. So he gave Will a call, and it was the three of us. It was Sammy, Will, and Aaron, and myself. But then Troy caught wind of it because he's in Evanescence with Will, and he's like, hey, what are you up to, Will? And I was like, oh, I'm doing this cool track. And he was like, dude, I want in. And we were like, well, we're not going to fucking say no because he's awesome. The more the merrier. And so we got all these guys, and we just did this via, pandemic Zoom style, remotely. We recorded it that way. We're never in a room together.
Right.
And David put it all together, and we're really happy with the way it came out. I mean, we're doing the best that we can to make Ronnie proud. And we put just a little bit of our own stamp on it, just to try to, I didn't want to just do a duplicate.
No.
Let's add a flair at the beginning. Sammy's a shredder. Let's have him add a cool intro. And then we'll do a little, there's a halftime part, as you notice, after the lead. It's the same riff,
right?
But and the original version, the Dio version, that's just straight through time, just the same speed.
Right.
But Will slowed it down to halftime, gave it a good little breath. Then it comes back in, and
Oof.
here we are. So that's the story.
It's explosive. What was the feedback from Wendy?
So she endorsed it. She had to approve it. She said, "Hey, I love it, but
Right.
the board is a 501c charity. There's a board of directors. We want to get behind you guys, but it's got to get approved." So we were like, "Oh, keeping our fingers crossed." And they came back unanimously and said, "This fucking rocks. So let's do it."
Oh my God, you
I don't know
guys,
if those were their exact words, but
you guys killed it. And anybody can go to diocancerfund.org, and there's a spot there to donate. And what a great foundation. Reading about it, they've raised over $2 million through various events, like you said, the bowling, the ride, and it's the support from Dio fans worldwide. And we want it to even rise even more to support Terry and the guys to really make a big, big difference. And you can obviously go to LeRoi 13.com, and I'm thinking there's a link on the band's website, man. What a cool story, man. Good for you guys. I know I'm pretty good friends with Carmine Apiece and Vinny Apathy.
yes.
And I know for Ronnie's birthday, they did oh God, it's on the top of my head. They did a track and promoted it and just wanted to just do a happy birthday.
Yeah.
And they shared stories of, Vinny, playing with Ronnie, and it was really cool. But what a great band. Is there a future? Can we predict more when you guys are hanging out and going, let's try this one?
Well, so what happened was, after we did the track and it was being mixed and we were trying to, figure out when we were going to release it, Will and I started talking some more, and, I was like, "Hey, Will, you want to play on some Granny 4-barrel tracks? Would love to have you. We've got some rough tracks right now." So Will's been playing on some Granny 4-barrel tracks. Well, we don't know if they're Granny 4-barrel tracks. They're just newly recorded tracks, and we're like, "Oh, is it LeRoi XIII,
right,
or is it Granny 4-barrel?" But we've discussed what will we do, and I know for a fact that Will and I are going to move forward with this in some variation. I know that Sammy's got another project. Of course, Aaron, he's the singer of Mice and Men. At some point, those guys are gonna be back on the road, and Troy said he's down too. So you can expect something soon, whether it's just another cover initially or an original song. I'm not sure, but we're having fun doing covers, and we've got some time. Maybe we'll just do another cover of whatever.
Yeah,
doesn't have to be Dio. It can just be anything, right?
No, and you know what? And there's I do interviews almost every day, and there's so many guys just getting together, getting outside their normal element and playing with different guys and putting stuff out there. And I'm the guy keeping new music alive, and I love all of it. And I know there's all kinds of challenges. You put out a new album and you're going, okay, we're going to promote it and go on the road. And then obviously COVID shows up, and do we put it out? Do we not put it out? But I'm going, no, put it out, because now when you go on the road and you go, hey, you remember this one we released last year? Not everybody's running to take a fucking piss and get a beer. They go, oh yeah, I heard that song from this.
Well, yeah, you got more in a way. You've got a captive audience, unlike any time before, because if there was no pandemic, all these bands, we would have, the touring, everything still would have, just keep going.
Right.
And there wouldn't have been an opportunity to do something like this either. I still would have been doing Granny 4-barrel stuff, and which is great, but man, I would have never had the chance to play with these great musicians, and it just opened up new opportunities, and it was really good. And all of their good vibes, it's hard to call something like that. Even though they're great musicians, you just don't know how it's all going to mesh together. But wow, it was like, wow, this is magic. This is like, wow, this is a great, this should be a band.
Oh my God, yeah. I didn't know Sammy too much, but obviously Troy and Will, I mean, hands down. But man, when he gets on that riff and I go, man, this guy's a shredder, and I'm reading about Sammy out of Detroit, and I go, oh my goodness. And obviously, you know, they all have the love as you and I have. There's no doubt about it. That why would they bother? I mean, you want me to play Stand Up and Shout for Ronnie J? I'm in, man. I don't think there's anybody that would have turned you down, Terry, at all.
Well, it was a lot of fun, and we're still, you know, it's actually doing really well, Pat. I mean, we've had a lot of different really good, you know, looks at it with, you know, for example, you, right? We're doing this podcast Zoom call. We've done, you know, had Loudwire, House of Hair.
Oh, good.
Eddie Trunk mentioned it. Got some spins on some specialty stations, and there's more interviews coming. So people are just discovering it's only a few months old. And yeah, I feel really good about it. It's got just shy of 200,000 streams on Spotify. Not bad. We should easily be able to hit 1 million.
Oh my God, yes.
It's going, and that's fantastic for the foundation.
Oh my God.
The video of it, the Zoom video that we uploaded to YouTube, that's got like maybe 120,000, but the version that we uploaded to Facebook, that has 500,000, and it's got 2,800 shares and like 800 comments, which I'm like, just let it go. Yeah, people.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's great.
I mean, I know if you guys that they didn't do a tribute or, you know, a fundraiser like what you guys put together, but they just got together and played, and then the lead artist is like, I can't believe we only got 100 views. And I said, you got to get the other, and it was like a guitar shred. You know, he got like 10 of his favorite friends that play guitar in different bands. And I go, they got 1 million followers between all of them, man. Tell them to share it. It's all about the numbers. It's all about the analytics. So if they all shared it, then it's going to blossom.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Our favorite granny, metal granny. Oh my God, Terry. Been a fan since you started. Nitro, Sexy. What is it? She Likes Guns. And oh my goodness.
Freak Flag. Yeah. Granny 4-barrel, man. That's a lot of fun right there.
How did you come up with the idea saying, you know what, I'm even going to just put the wig on and rock this thing and come up with this whole concept, and there's nobody that does it. I'm going to be the guy, and I got great music and a great band to follow up on it. Yeah,
it started out, so I had a band about 10 years ago, Titanium Black, just like a serious metal band, and we had a Halloween show. And I'd been playing around with this character on the side. It's a cartoon character I've been drawing since I was a kid. And I like horror movies. And I had this old woman character. And then I created a YouTube channel for her just around that time. And when the Halloween show happened, I was like, dude, I'm gonna fucking dress up like this old woman because it'd be a lot of fun to just be a badass old woman screaming like heavy metal. You know, Rob Halford screams and just like doing like a whole thing. And it was kind of, it had like a horror vibe to it. So it really started out as almost like a prototype, kind of have some fun at Halloween. But it was so cool that after the show, everybody's like, dude, that's gotta be a band. And I was like, yeah, there's something to this. I don't know. It felt really, really good on stage, just sitting in a rocking chair.
Everybody else is playing it. You're going, this is good.
Yeah. How anti-metal is that? But it's great because looks are deceiving, because all of a sudden the band starts and you're like, what the fuck? It's like all power. So, gave it a name, started playing some shows, and that was 10 years ago, man. Granny's been around a while. So, and then, past few years, we did a bunch of tours with Texas Hippie Coalition, Necro, Goblicon, CKY, Cobra and the Lotus. Just started making videos, and we just have fun with it, man. We have fun with it. It's like a vaudeville theatrical, like shock rock kind of
Yeah,
thing.
no, it's great. I mean, look, Alice Cooper behind me. Who would ever think? You know, he's chopping heads off, and Frankenstein's running across the stage.
Why not?
And then you got the band Ghost out from Sweden, wearing a mask, and you know all that crazy stuff. I mean, it's great. I think it's great. I love Nitro, the video for Nitro Sexy. You going down that strip in that cart. That had to be so cool to do.
That was pretty crazy, man. That was so in that drag strip. That's an abandoned drag strip in El Paso, Texas, and that was the last time that was used. And now I think it's gone. It's the development or like a shopping mall or something. I heard that's what was going to happen, but yeah, we got fortunate enough to film it there. And you remember back in the day, the cartoons on Saturday morning, the wacky races?
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
It was like that, right? They had all the monsters with their hot rods, kind of Big Daddy Roth style, you know, souped up. That's kind of what it was like, inspired by.
Yeah. It was a great concept, and it came out so cool. And you think of Granny Four Barrel, you think of car. You know, you think of, you know, a muscle car, kick ass, and then I see the drag strip, and I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Whoever came up with the whole idea, and the video killed it, man. Your vocals, Terry, holy shit, man. I've been blessed to talk to Rob Halford, Paul Rogers, Glenn Hughes, Mark Slaughter, and what do you do? I mean, to help prevent vocal injuries. I mean, you do show. I know you probably don't do show after show, but I mean, your vocals are insane. You do a great job. Those guys tell me rest, hydration, lots of rest.
I mean, they already know, yeah. And, you know, thank you so much for even mentioning me in the same sentences as those guys. But yeah, it really is, you know, it's water, dude. Like, it's hydration and it's rest. It's a physical endeavor being a singer. It's an athletic endeavor. If your body's not well, your singing isn't well. And you just got to stay on top of it. I don't really do, you know, any kind of like, really like any kind of like warm up, so to speak, except to just, I mean, I guess I do. Basically, I just sing every day.
Right.
I'm always singing in my Jeep. I've got, you know, Sirius, and I've got the Boneyard, Hair Nation, and Octane, all three in a row. And I just keep going. Yeah. But, you know, bouncing around.
That's me going, okay, what's next?
Yeah. And then also I have, YouTube, which lately I've been on a Mob Rules kick. So I just hit Mob Rules album, and I drive around in my Jeep for 45 minutes and sing every track. And singing Ronnie Dio keeps me in shape, because Ronnie, you know, is one of those singers from back in the day that was, in my opinion, still, you know, greatest metal vocalist ever. But in that grouping, you've got guys like Halford and Dickinson and Jeff Tate, and there's other ones too. But those guys are like pure singers, and it's a type of style that if you don't do it all the time, you start to lose your chops. They're always up in that mid range between the breaking point in your voice, between head voice and chest voice. And when you're singing up in that A, B, and C range, if you don't do it all the time, you know, it's hard. It's hard to do. So you got to keep your chops up.
Yeah, no, it's an instrument, and it's a skill. To me, it's a skill set. I mean, as drunk as I could be and do karaoke and do my favorite, you know, try to do a Dio or whatever, from this side of the microphone and a fan and going to the shows and talking to folks like yourself and these other incredible artists. I mean, the whole breathing, knowing when to breathe, how to get it projected out, and not just scream and kill yourself. I mean, I remember Mark Slaughter says, you know, he goes, talking hurts a singer more than you would ever think.
It really
does. It's better to sing than to talk. And I go, really? He goes, absolutely. He goes, I can do interviews with, you know, you and everybody else, but I cannot record. I can't go into a studio and lay down a track. Either it's one or the other. But Paul Rogers, Paul was, you know, Paul's a big exercise, you know, talks slow, drinks a lot of water. His wife, Cynthia, is a fitness expert.
Yeah.
Glenn says, I get on the bus, I put on the blindfold, I put on the headset. I got to get 8 hours of sleep, Pat, no matter what.
You have to.
I got to get 8 hours of sleep. But I never took, I never thought of it. I'm like, as a fan, you go to the shows and go, yeah, we want to hear this. But, I'm not a musician. And now that I've become friends with so many folks like yourself, and I go, I mean, that's your job. And I'm like, wow, man, I didn't, Pat takes it for granted. And then, you have a better appreciation when you go to the show. And, I became friends with Michael Cardelloni of Leonard Skinner, the drummer. And I'm like, Mike's like, everybody wants to hear Freebird, obviously the last song, but it's a 15-minute marathon.
Yeah.
It's not, okay, it's every show. It's, you got to be on top of things. And I have a better appreciation for artists like yourself. When are we going to, well, obviously when this whole COVID thing finally just goes away, we got to get Granny down in Poughkeepsie to rock and roll. And that'll be a great show.
Because when Granny's in all of her garb, she's in character. So like I disappear. Granny will come down and hang out with you and sit on that side of the mic with you, and we'll have some fun.
And you probably can add Stand Up and Shout on the set list, like you probably have been.
Oh, yeah.
What did the guys think? The guys in your band think? Like, wow, this is great.
Of this new thing?
Yes.
Oh yeah, like those guys love it. They've all liked it, and it's pretty loose with those guys. We kind of had a primary band, a few guys for Granny Four Barrel, but because a lot of those guys are working musicians, we had a few guys that we would rotate around depending on tours and scheduling. So, but everybody supports it. They think it's great. And, Granny's got an extended family. So, nephews, cousins.
Adopted octopus squids in Poughkeepsie.
Yeah.
You shared with me before I hit the record button, but I think there's a Granny album or record or single coming out in February, which hopefully you can tell me about and tell the listeners.
Yeah.
And, we'll get you back on another Zoom when that comes out. But if you can share with us all about that, Terry, that'd be great.
Yeah. So in fact, just today we were discussing with our distributor 1RPM. So we've got a release date of February 26th for a brand new Granny track and video. It's called The Art of Deception.
Okay.
And it's a song that I wrote with David Bendeth, producer David Bendeth. And the video was filmed by My Good Eye Visuals, David Brodsky and his partner Allie. And they did a fantastic job. And that was done just before COVID. So we just held it back. And now we're like, hey, we got the LeRoi XIII out there going on. Let's just get back to Granny business and do this because it's a great track. So that's coming out in a month.
We can't wait. And for all of LeRoi XIII, as I mentioned before, LeRoi XIII, and it's spelled out the number.com, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Hit the subscribe. That's a cool deal. For Granny Four Barrel, same thing.com. You're on all the socials as well, Terry?
We are. Yeah. And one other thing about Granny, interesting story. I've not been able to talk about this, but when you mentioned Mark Slaughter, it reminded me that about 10 or 11 years ago, I was down in Nashville. One of my good friends is Michael Wagner, and I did a record with Michael Wagner, producer, legendary Michael.
Yeah.
Some great Skid Row, Except, name the bands back in the 80s. And he called me, he said, hey, Terry, I got a band down here called Lordi from over in Europe. Remember Lordi with the the big monsters?
Yeah.
And Mark Slaughter is doing some backups on this, and I know you got some high note chops, and I'd love to have you come down and sing some tracks. And so I never got to meet Mark Slaughter, but he's on half the record, and I'm on the other half singing all the high harmonies on that Lordi album.
Cool.
I think it's To Beast or Not to Beast, something like that, whatever the name of it was. But yeah, I did that for Michael and Sony Records. And I just thought, you just made me think of it with Mark Slaughter. But if you look at the liner notes in there, you'll see Granny Four Barrel. I did
nice.
my name / Granny Four Barrel.
I got a chat coming up, not too far
Yeah.
in the future, not too far down the road with Mark. I've had the pleasure of meeting him a few times. He's a Nashville guy,
Yeah.
and he's always he's in a new band called Seven Angels,
Awesome.
and he's always doing something. He's a winner and a half. I'm like, oh my God, Mark, I don't even know how he sustains how you guys do this with the voice, but.
Yeah.
Anyway, stand up and shout. That's what we're talking about right now. I want all our friends, all our listeners, go and buy. Please, please, please buy. Again, 100% of the song, 100% of the proceeds of the song goes to Dio Cancer Fund. And I mean, you can't find a better fund than that. The mission is to support research, education, and further early detection, prevention, and treatment of prostate, colon, and stomach cancer. We lost the great Ronnie in 2013 to stomach cancer, and man, he's got to be still smiling and jumping up and down that metal folks like Terry and Sammy and Troy and Will are still rocking it, and Aaron, and thinking about him. And I gotta certainly say thank you to Wendy for loving it and approving it as well. And we can't wait to get Granny back on the road in her rocking chair. I can't wait.
Oh yeah.
Now you got me all psyched up.
I'm going to add some more Dio to the Granny set too, because it's just awesome.
Well, you got me all psyched up that my next radio show, I might have to do a couple of tracks, double shots of Granny on the Pat Show on WBXO. So it'd be all cool stuff.
I'm ready.
Terry, thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as I have.
It was a good time, man. It was great talking to you, Pat. Thank you.
This is great. Well, we're time to rock LeRoi XIII and play a little Ronnie James Dio. Great track of Stand Up and Shout right here on Pat Soundbites IGTV.
Yeah.
Buy it.